See where I put things I create at. Children's Picture Book Poetry, Book 4 by D.J. Rowbotham. The Curiousness of Dog Dreams. When you hear me whimper and when you hear me sigh, it's because I'm a superhero and I'm flying in the sky. I soar up in the clouds to find someone in danger. They thank me with a treat, which is a nice thing from a stranger. When you hear me whimper and when you hear me moan, it's because I'm the king of Dogland and I'm sitting on my throne. I'm a very good king, and I treat my subjects nice. So long as they bring lots of treats, I think 4 will suffice. When you hear me whimper and when you hear me yelp, it's because I'm a fireman and someone needs my help. It turned out to be a pussycat who was stuck high in a tree. I don't think it was grateful, because it clawed and scratched at me. When you hear me whimper and when you hear me growl, it's because I'm playing football and I've done a little foul. I feel so bad. It makes me sad. I didn't want to cheat. The referee says it's okay and gives me a small treat. When you hear me whimper and when you see me twitch, it's because I've won the lottery and now I'm super rich. I'll spend a lot and buy a yacht and let my friends all steer it. And with what's left, I'd buy a bone and growl if anyone's near it. But if you don't hear me whimper and if you can't hear me sigh, it's because I'm alone in the kitchen and I'm eating all the pie. But don't blame me, it should not be alone upon the table, because pie that's free, it causes me to become quite unstable. The Curiousness of Cat Dreams. When you hear me whimper and when you hear me sigh, leave me alone. When you hear me whimper and when you hear me moan, I'm trying to sleep. When you hear me whimper and when you hear me yelp, go away! When you hear me whimper and when you hear me growl, don't touch me. When you hear me whimper and when you see me twitch, I seriously, get off me. But if you don't hear me whimper or sigh or moan or yelp or growl or twitch, it's because I've sneaked out the cat flap for a bit of peace and quiet. When birds do impersonations, the duck said quack when the raven cawed. Then the raven loudly quacked. Sorry, said the raven, I was bored. Did you think you were being attacked? The pigeon cooed when the raven cawed. Then the raven loudly cooed. Sorry, said the raven, I was bored. I hope you didn't think it was rude. The dog said, bark when the raven cawed. Then raven gave out a bark. Sorry, said the raven, I was bored. I was only having a lark. The pussycat mewed when the raven cawed. Then the raven loudly mewed. Sorry, said the raven, I was bored. I hope you didn't think it was rude. The sheep said, baa when the raven cawed. Then the raven loudly baaed. Sorry, said the raven, I was bored. And it really wasn't all that hard. The cow she mooed when the raven cawed. Then the raven loudly mooed. Sorry, said the raven, I was bored. I hope you didn't think it was rude. The horse said, neigh when the raven cawed. And the raven loudly neighed. Sorry, said the raven, I was bored. I hope you weren't too afraid. It was late at night when the raven cawed. He thought they were all in bed. He snuck into their room, but no one snored. They jumped up and said, boo, instead. Children's Picture Book Poetry, Book 4 by D.J. Rowbotham. See where I put things I create at.